Hi everyone, I'm Hannah and this is everything that I knit in 2024. Twenty 2024 was my second year knitting. I first started knitting back in January 2023. So 2023 was a lot of learning. There's definitely a lot of learning this year too. But yeah, I have my iPad here with my notes. So I have 30 finished objects this year, which is quite high. I didn't expect to have quite that many when I added them all up. And I have them all laid out here, and we're gonna do a try on for everything that I have. A little less than half of what I made were either gifts or things I gave away, so I will show you those with pictures. And yeah, these are just going to be my finished objects. There were definitely a lot of mistakes, failed items, things that never got finished along the way. So not going to talk about those too much, but just everything that I did finish this year. So for everything that I do have, I'll share the pattern name and the designer, and then some other details like the yarn or anything special about it. And yeah, if you're looking for more information though, I will link my Ravelry down below, and that will have everything I made and all of the details. So yes, that will be linked if you want to read more about any of these items. And yeah, I'm gonna go in chronological order, so let's roll it back to January. All right, we are starting off with a big one. So my first project that I finished in January was the weekend sweater by Petite Knit. As you can see, it's made from a lot of scraps. So I was working on a scrappy blanket that actually never got finished, but anyways, I had a lot of small amounts of yarn left, so I made this sweater, and every yarn is like two held together, so I kind of changed colors at random. Yeah, holding two strands together. Definitely turned out a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's definitely very oversized. It's definitely not my normal kind of sweater I would go for. I think it's a little colorful and out there, but it's still fun. I still wear it on occasion. It's comfy. For a scrappy project, I think it turned out pretty well. The next item I finished is this beanie. It is the Escher beanie by Rows Knitwear. And I'll get a little closer. Oops. Let me not have the seam right in front. I think that's better. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I used Plymouth Yarn Sea Isle for this, which is a cotton wool blend, which is kind of interesting. I do like the colors and I like how it turned out. You'll see I made a number of beanies this year. This one definitely fits. I like the fit of this one quite well, and I have worn it quite a bit. So I think overall this was a success in my book. My next item was also a beanie, but this one was a gift knit. So I made the blanket stitch beanie pattern by Megan Faith Makes, and yeah, I made this for a friend's birthday. I really do love this color combo. This like brown and blue I think it looks really cool. And yeah, I really like how this one turned out. It was super quick to knit. It's an Aran weight beanie, so I think I made it in like a day or two. It was very quick to make. Yeah, I really like this pattern. I think I would maybe make it for myself one day. Okay, next on the beanies. We're gonna roll with beanies here. My next make was also a beanie. This one, I'll just try it on for you. I made it, I feel like I made it and restarted it like 3 times maybe, and I still don't think it's big. It doesn't really fit, and the fit's weird. It's like, yeah, it's not it's not great. I don't really wear it. I love this color. I don't know exactly what went wrong here. I was like kind of referencing the Oslo hat pattern by Petite Knit, kind of like making it up a little bit because it was coming out too big. I just don't really think I knew what I was doing at the time to adjust it myself. And I don't know if this yarn combo is like great for beanies either. I was holding two yarns together. I was holding together Lang Yarns Alpaca Superlight, which is like a lace weight alpaca, with Rama Yarns Fennel. And that's 100% wool. I don't know, it just like, it's not really like, doesn't have the good bounce or stretch I feel like a beanie should have, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. I might try to do something else with this yarn, but I also just was kind of over it and just wanted it to be done, so it's been sitting in my closet since February when I finished this, so yes, this was my February beanie, I guess. Little bit of a flop. This was my next make, which was my very first test knit. This I made in March, and it is the 6-in-1 top by Oops and Loops. And yeah, it was my very first test knit. It's a really cool pattern that has this like boat neck in the front, you can quite see, but it has like a scoop option, and you can wear it either way, so you can have the scoop in the front if you want. And also with the sleeves, you can do it as a tank top. I did the cap sleeves, or there's instructions to make it a full long sleeve. And yeah, I really like the fit of this one. This is definitely an item I wore quite a bit this year, especially in the summertime. Yeah, I really love this yarn too. This is, yeah, I guess my first project working with Malabrigo Rios, which we'll see again later. And this colorway is called Sunset. I don't know, I just really love the subtle variegation in the color change here, without it being too much. I learned a little bit about blocking with this one. I really liked the fit before blocking, and then it grew a little bit. It still fits pretty nice, but I think a couple things, like I think I omitted some of the decreases on the sleeves, and this could be a little tighter. I do think the final pattern ended up changing the neckline to be a little tighter also, because I do have some like bra strap problems a little bit with it, but overall I would highly recommend this pattern. I think it's really cool that you get all those options in the one pattern, and I have had this on my list to make again. Not sure which version, but yeah, I would like to make maybe a tank top or maybe the long sleeve version of this as well. This next make is questionable. I honestly didn't even know where it was because I just hid it in my closet because I didn't want to think about it anymore. This was the Good Tank pattern by Are You Knitting Me. I feel like this pattern is like one of those patterns you see all over Pinterest or Etsy if you just search like knit tank top pattern or whatever. Yeah, again, I'm not exactly sure where it went wrong. Probably a couple of things. I don't think this yarn knit was great. This is the Jubilee Yarn Bamboo Cotton Sport. It is like pretty inexpensive. It's turned out a bit see-through. I think my gauge is like a little all over the place. It also didn't have any sort of finishing in the pattern for either the sleeve or the armhole edge or the neck edge, so I like added this crochet edge, which I think looks decent but also makes it quite tight, especially like getting the neck on over my head. But yeah, just because it is kind of see-through and I don't really love the feel of the yarn, and yeah, I just don't really wear this. I don't really like think I'll use this yarn for anything else though, so I might just end up donating it or something. Yeah, this one's definitely a bit of a flop, but I did see it through and make it, so that's good, I guess. My next finished object, which timeline-wise we're in April now, so yeah, I'd say I've been doing like 1 or 2 projects a month at this point, maybe more than that. Is the tomato tee. Very cute tomato on here, and it is a pattern by Yarn Farm. and this was also a test knit. So yeah, I kind of applied for my first 2 test knits back to back and was accepted into both of them. There was an issue with the pattern that was found in testing where there was like too many rows in this like top back section, so it kind of like scrunches up in the back, which is not ideal. I do like the look of it from you know, like here up, but I haven't really worn it. It's an Aran weight t-shirt, which makes it a little interesting weather-wise to wear because it is quite thick, and I did use Cascade 220 superwash Aran yarn for this, so it is like 100% merino wool. So it is kind of toasty to wear, but it is also a short sleeve shirt, so kind of a weird yarn choice I made there. This was a good practice of intarsia knitting with the tomato. So I do think I learned a lot making this. It's just not my most worn object of the year. All right, another tank top. We've definitely entered summer knitting phase here. This one I completed in April. This is the Soul top by Rows Knitwear, and I made it with this, I think it was one of the pattern suggested yarns. It was Stylecraft Organic Cotton DK, so it's 100% cotton. This might be my first 100% cotton project I've ever made. I think overall I'd give this like a B-. I think my gauge is a little loose. Like I feel like I should have used a smaller needle maybe, and then it would look a little tighter. I did definitely get some more out of this in the summer. I think the armhole fit is pretty good, which is not an easy thing to do. And yeah. All right, and the last of the tank tops, maybe my favorite. This is the Lost Tank pattern by Friday Knits, and I made it with Woolen Work sock yarn in the color Fairy Bread, which is definitely not my usual. It's a little bright and colorful, but I do really like it. It's really like reminded me of like Funfetti Cake or something when I was knitting it up. It's definitely a labor of love. It took a long time. It is a fingering weight and it's a rib pattern. I think this pattern is really well made and has a lot of nice details that really like finish off the top and make it look a little bit more store-bought, less handmade. Yeah, I definitely really love this pattern and we'll probably make it again next summer. All right, we are back to sweaters. This one is really fun. This is the Simone sweater light pattern by Stine Erikstad. And yeah, this was my first colorwork sweater, which I think shows a little bit. I really love this. Whoa, I almost knocked over my water bottle. I really love this pattern. I really love the color choice I made. This is all Malabrigo worsted yarn in 3 different shades of green. And yeah, it has this color work on the sleeves and the body. Yeah, I really love this pattern. I do think something's not quite right with this sweater. I think number one is my tension, and the color work is a lot tighter here than it is up here. So it kind of makes for a weird shape. The sleeves are definitely too wide and too long. It's like not very functional to, you know, wear this sweater and use your hands. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I want to do about it though. I'm like debating remaking it. That sounds like a lot of work to like completely restart. Oh, another problem is I didn't quite understand how to pick up stitches for sleeves for a drop shoulder construction. So like where I pick up here, it's not right. So it like doesn't look, I guess it's like not as noticeable now, but I know that I did it wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't really wear it because yeah, the sleeves are too long, and I think the fit, like you can kind of see it's just like too loose up here, a little tight down here. I don't know. I do really like the pattern though. And I really like the look of it and the color combo, so I'm like, do I rip it out and remake it hopefully better the second time? Maybe, I don't know. Another major milestone for 2024 is I made my first couple pairs of socks. These are my very first pair of socks. They're a self-striping yarn that I use. And I use the Magic Heel Socks pattern by Autumn Acorn Knits. It doesn't have any, I'm pretty sure it doesn't have like any increases or decreases for the heel or anything. It's just, it is just like rib, which makes for a very easy beginner sock pattern. The fit isn't great, probably that's on me. I don't think I made the body or the foot area long enough. So yeah, but for first socks I did it. I figured it out. I do think my like stitch count in the round was pretty accurate and fits well, so that's a win. This is my first Monday sweater by Petite Knit. I made it in this brown, like dark brown color, and it is 2 strands held together of Lang Yarns Alpaca Super Light. So a lace weight alpaca and Sandusgarn Sunday, which is merino. So it's a merino alpaca blend sweater. Yeah, I feel like this is my first sweater where I'm like, I love the fit, I love the color, I love how it came out. I feel like it looks like pretty store-bought. And I've worn it a bunch. Yeah, this is definitely my most worn item. So I finished this in June. Yeah, I finished this in June this year. So after a couple months of wearing it, the neck was stretching out a bit, so I did add some elastic, and that's really helped just to kind of keep it cinched up. Yeah, just use like elastic thread and a darning needle to run that around the neckline. I did like de-pill it for the first time earlier this week. It was just like, especially in the like more high friction areas, like under the arms and stuff, was starting to pill. But yeah, I really love this one. I love it so much I made another one later in the year, which you'll see. And yeah, I really love this pattern and this yarn combo, and just everything worked out with this one, which is great. The next thing I made was something a friend commissioned for me. So she saw both my sole top, the green tank top, and my tomato tee. Really loved them both, so she asked me to make a sole top, green tank top, with the tomato tee, on the tank top. So that's exactly what I did. I used slightly different yarn. I do think I preferred this one. This was the Cascade Yarns Ultra Pima, which is also 100% Pima cotton. I think it's worn a little better, but a very similar color and color scheme to the previous sole top I made. And yeah, she really loved this one. She took it to Italy, fit right in, so that was perfect. The next item I made was a hair accessory. I don't really think I followed a pattern for this. I think I just kind of made a triangle, but it's this little hair bandana. Oops. It is this hair bandana, and this yarn I used again in a later project, but this is Lanes du Nord Baby Soft Fancy, which I really love the color change on this. And I did buy like one of those like I-cord machine, I'll put a picture of it, like I-cord machines to make the I-cords on this, and I do think I haven't really used it since, but I think it'll come in handy for other things. Hair bandana. Let's see if you can turn around and show it to you a little bit. I don't know. Can you see that? Yeah, just like a little fun, quick summer accessory. The next make is my one and only, this is my one and only cardigan of the year. This is the Hackett Jacket pattern by Nina Ruth. And yeah, this pattern is like basically a basic raglan cardigan pattern, and then it has all these hacks that you can do for like different neckline shaping. This one I did like the textured hack, so it has like a textured pattern to it. There's like all sorts of stuff you can do. It is definitely like a very hands-off kind of pattern where it doesn't give you a ton of instruction, but definitely a lot of options for different cardigans you can make within the pattern. This one I also use Malabrigo Rios in Matisse Blue this time though, and I do really love this color. And these buttons I got as a gift from a friend. I'm not obsessed with the fit on this one. It definitely grew in ways I didn't expect with blocking. I like kind of learned from my previous Malabrigo Rios that it was going to grow, but I feel like it kind of, I don't know, it's like oversized, but like the sleeves are a little tight. It's also like, I think probably due to the texture, and also it's only a one stitch raglan, it's kind of like gets easily stretched out up here. Like it feels like kind of heavy, like it's getting dragged down. And I just really haven't been wearing it, so I'm kind of thinking of frogging this completely and making like a blue raglan sweater with it, maybe maybe reinforcing with some elastic or something. Yeah, I'm not obsessed, but I do really love the yarn. I do think the pattern could be used better than how I did it, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I really just haven't worn this as much as I thought I would. This is another favorite sweater of mine of the year. This is the Olga sweater by Petite Knit. Yeah, it's this like striped drop shoulder sweater. Another use of Malabrigo Rios on this one. This is the colors Cosmos and Bobby Blue. I really love this color combo. My gauge was off, so I ended up making like a much smaller size, and like basically I was making an extra small, but it was measuring to be a medium. But overall I really do think the fit of this one turned out quite nice. It is like slightly more cropped, like maybe I could have done one or two more stripes, but I'm fine with it. I haven't had to do any reinforcement or anything with the collar yet. There's short rows on the back that make this like pretty cool shoulder look. And yeah, overall I really like it. I feel like there's a lot of like these stripy kind of drop shoulder patterns going around this year, and a lot of people making things like this, so was happy to join in on that. Right, the next two items were gifts for my niece's birthday in August. So I used that same yarn I made the bandana with to make her a dress and a little scrunchie. So this was the Fable dress pattern by Lisa Chemery. And yeah, I really like how this one turned out. I really loved working with this yarn and seeing how the color was going to change throughout. I did kind of make like a bigger size, so hopefully she can wear it for a few years. And yeah, with the scrunchie, I think I just kind of, yeah, self-drafted, made like a little tube and put a hair tie in it, and did it like crochet edge on it. And yeah, I think it turned out really cute. All right, next is another pair of socks. So I think in September I bought the Summerly Knits sock project book, and that was really helpful in like learning more about sock knitting, and it's like a very beginner friendly book with a lot of patterns and options in there. So I made these blue socks, and these are just the basic sock number 1 from her book. I definitely made like probably 4 or 5 socks and ripped them out and restarted, just trying to get the size right. They're still a little bit small, but I think I'm getting there. But yeah, overall had fun learning a little bit more about socks with this project. All right, we are entering into gift knit time. This fall and winter, especially for the holidays, I ended up doing a lot of gift knitting. The first kickoff of that was a couple birthdays, so I made a Sophie scarf and Oslo hat for my friend's birthday. Both classic Petite knit patterns I'm sure you've heard of. For the Oslo hat, I ended up using a worsted weight yarn, so I decreased the number of stitches quite significantly, so it ended up being a normal size beanie. I learned a couple lessons from earlier this year, and then the Sophie scarf. I think I also adjusted this one because I used Malabrigo Rios, again, leftovers from this sweater actually, on that scarf. Next was my very first emotional support chicken. I made this for another friend's birthday. This was a lot of fun to make. This yarn was something I had in stash, wasn't quite sure what to do with, but I think it worked out perfectly for a chicken. And yeah, just a lot of fun. Yeah, pretty easy beginner pattern, I think. I think it's a lot of fun. You learn a lot about shaping and that sort of thing without it being too difficult. The next item was another Monday sweater. So this, was my second Monday sweater of the year. A pattern by Petite knit as well. This one was special because this was yarn I actually bought in Europe. So I took a trip to Europe in the fall, and this I bought in Copenhagen. Kama yarn by Permin. And yeah, I really love all the tweedy bits in this one. There's a lot of really fun colors, some blues and terracottas, and yeah, all sorts of stuff. It did end up a little small, so I'm thinking about going back in, especially the sleeves. They definitely get short when I move my arms around, which is not ideal. So I think I'm going to probably do a little sweater surgery and add some length to the arms, maybe the body as well. It's kind of like a decent crop length, could be a little longer, but not a huge deal. I guess it depends how the sleeve surgery is going and if I feel up to do the body as well. But yeah, again, love this pattern. I did, one thing I did change this time was I made the collar a bit tighter, since I did have to add elastic to the last one. I think it's top-down construction sweater, so I just started with fewer stitches and then did some more increases to make up for it. This is the last sweater of the year, for me at least. I say it's a finished object, but as you can see, I'm still working on it a bit. I did finish it and ended up having some problems with it, so I've been kind of adjusting it this week actually. But it is generally, I'm mostly following the bulky basic drop sleeve sweater by James and Watts, which is just a super simple basic bulky weight sweater. There's no short rows or shaping or anything. And this is the Lang Yarns Cloud yarn in the colorway 8. I ended up getting some of this on sale, which was great because I've wanted it for a while, but it is definitely pricey. And yeah, so yeah, like I said, I finished it, but the sleeves were way too long. I wasn't obsessed with the collar. So I did fix the sleeves. These are feeling much better. I just need to obviously weave in the ends. This is feeling better. It's still a little loose, but I think I might just leave the collar as is for now. I do have some ribbing on the bottom of it here, and I did a split hem. Not sure how I feel about it yet. I think I might take out the ribbing. Anyways, I think I just kind of need to wear the sweater and see how I feel about it. It was a lot of fun to work with this yarn and just kind of see what color would be next and see how it would look in the end. And yeah, overall pretty happy with it. Yeah, it's pretty airy and comfy and cozy, which is great for the winter. My next finished object was a project for my nephew, who is a fan of Harry Potter and requested this sweater from, if you're familiar with Harry Potter, it's what I think the Weasley family gifts everyone sweaters with a monogram letter of their first name. So I made him this Harry Potter inspired sweater for Christmas this year. I did just find a basic raglan sweater pattern that had kids sizing. I just found a free pattern on Ravelry, so this was the Southwood pattern by Galt House of Yarn. Just like basic free raglan pattern. And then this was my first time doing duplicate stitch, so I just made the whole sweater in the maroon color, and then I added the E afterwards with duplicate stitch, which I kind of liked. I think it's something I will definitely use again in future projects. I like how it turned out, and it was, yeah, much easier than dealing with color work for that shape. And yeah, I'm glad I tried out that new technique with this project. One last project for myself, and then 4 more gifts. So the last project I made for myself had some leftover yarn from the sweater, so I made a beanie. This is a 2x2 rib beanie, and yeah, I ended up doing, this looks pretty ridiculous wearing this sweater and the hat, but I did kind of like a twisted rib. I changed it slightly. I feel like my ribs don't always look the neatest, so I'm trying like a couple different methods to see how I can make it look more uniform. Yeah, I think this one turned out pretty good. And yeah, same yarn, and I kind of sort of followed this 2x2 rib pattern by Anne Gagnon, Anne G 2x2 rib pattern. And yeah, I think I found a project in here where someone had used bulky weight yarn and had like listed how many stitches they used, so I like kind of sort of followed that, because this pattern's for worsted weight yarn. But yeah, it was a quick fun project for myself. Alright, and to round out the year, I did a couple more gift knits. So the first was another basic Oslo hat for my dad. I ended up using the same yarn I used for that Harry Potter sweater for my nephew. That yarn was also worsted weight, so yeah, I adjusted that slightly, but another basic beanie. And then for my nieces, I ended up making them the Holger sweater by Petite, which is quite similar to the striped sweater I made, but just kind of like a kid's version, a little bit different construction. And yeah, that one was really fun. I made 2 of them, and I used similar colors, or I used the same colors but in different, but I like set them up differently, so they're like matching but not identical. And yeah, I think these turned out really cute. It's always fun to like make things for kids in like bright colors. And yeah, I would definitely recommend this pattern if you have little ones in your life that you want to make a little striped sweater for. And the very last finished object of the year was another chicken. This is again the emotional support chicken, this time made for my mom. She saw me make the last one and very quickly requested one for herself. So yeah, this was her Christmas gift, and I use a Madeline Tosh yarn for this that I really like the way it looked for the chicken. It's like a white with black speckles. I don't know, I think it just looks very, very fitting for a chicken. So that wraps up all of my knitting for 2024. I'm leaving the year with 5 works in progress, and yeah, I have lots of knitting plans for 2025 I'm pretty excited about. Looking forward to another year of learning more knitting techniques and trying out new things. So yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and leave me a comment about what your favorite thing you made this year was, and I'll see you next time. Bye.